Coming up next on Cordisco's Corner.
Speaking to Good Morning America, CDC Director Rochelle Walensky confirmed that the overwhelming number of deaths, over 75%, occurred in people who had at least 4 comorbidities. What that means is something they had something wrong with them to begin with that was fairly serious.
Hi, folks. Welcome to Cordisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support.
Hi, folks. Welcome back. From the post-millennial, CDC says over 75% of COVID deaths were in those with at least 4 comorbidities. Just let that sink in for a moment. Is not telling the whole truth the same as lying? Yeah, when we're talking about people's health, and people put faith in your agency, especially something as big as the CDC, and keeps the politics out of it. Mind you, this is the same CDC that in 2020 had a letter with several hundred employees of the CDC when there were mass protests all around the United States with tens of thousands of people all shoulder to shoulder during the height of the pandemic, that sent out a letter that said it is not a super spreader event. And even if it was, what they're marching against, racial injustice, kills more people than COVID. Really? Really? And there are people who are dropping by the tens of thousands at a time, and they want us to have faith in them? I didn't have much faith in them to begin with. When that letter came out, I lost a little bit I had. I mean, it gets to the point now, the CDC comes out and says, smoking is bad for you. I'm going to think it's good for you. I know it's not, but that's how bad it is. Oh, God. The CDC, Dr. Walensky, confirmed that the overwhelming number of deaths, over 75%, occurred while in people who had at least 4 comorbidities. So there are people who are unwell to begin with. People who were unwell to begin with. And this is by Libby Evans. You see her here. I like Libby a lot. I just sent her a super chat once. She was on Timcast IRL. She's a good egg. And sadly, Libby, I am too old for you. Speaking to Good Morning America, CDC Director Rochelle Walensky confirmed that the overwhelming number of deaths, over 75%, occurred in people who had at least 4 comorbidities. What that means is something they had something wrong with them to begin with that was fairly serious. Of those people, so these people who were unwell to begin with. So you go into the hospital and you, God forbid, have stage 4 cancer. And your days are numbered, literally. And you're tested for COVID. They put down, you died of COVID. Even though your body's been destroyed between drugs trying to treat the cancer and chemo and God knows what else, and the cancer just bringing down your immune system and your bodily functions, period. So if you had stage 4 cancer and somebody shot you and you died, would you put on the death certificate they died of cancer? Well, of course not. And that's what they're doing to run the numbers up. Now, there's some stories that have come out that have said, especially under Medicare, that they were getting more money treating people that had COVID, even though something else was seriously wrong with them. They're receiving more money per day and all kinds of extra goodies, money-wise. Mike Rose said it well. He was on Tim Cass' show tonight. He says, always, 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 when you want to find out the truth, follow the money. And that's been a human trait since the beginning of time. Whether you traded for dollars or you traded for sheep or whatever you did, follow the money. This is, that's just human nature. Let's read on. These comments come as questions are being raised about the data collected and parsed out by the CDC. Yeah, that's where I get to the part where is not telling the whole truth the same as lying. How they're parsed out. They're parsed out to fit a narrative because they think the American people or the average American is too freaking dumb to make a decision based on the facts. So we're going to parse out to them what we want them to know so we can lead them in a certain direction that we think as a government agency they should do. This big brother crap is enough. Enough's enough. And there's going to be a backlash like there always is. But the weird part is 2, 3, 4 years from now, people are going to be right back where they were with the same, if not the same politicians, the same type politicians, and they're going to fool them again. Parsed out by the CDC with concerns about the gap between those who died with COVID as opposed to who died because of COVID. Yeah, like I said, if you're walking down the street and somebody robs a place and in the gunfire you get shot and die, God forbid, they bring you to the hospital and they'll test you automatically. Or while you're dying, and if you test positive for COVID, you died of COVID, even though there's a gaping hole in your chest from a bullet. It's crazy. They wanted to scare the American people. I really think, honestly and truly now, I'm not a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory guy. I never really have been. You follow the facts the best you can. But I'm really, really, truly wondering now if all this is to destroy the economy, not just the United States, but the world. But we all know that if you destroy the economy of the United States, it has a domino effect on everything else. There have been concerns about those who died from other causes, but also had COVID at the time of death, have had their deaths attributed to COVID. How about in 2020? It was really, really in the progressive leftists, it was in their advantage when it was first starting during the presidential election to run the numbers up as high as you possibly could to hurt Donald Trump re-election chances. They have undercover video from Project Veritas that shows CNN people higher up that they were putting the death count and have the numbers click to scare the hell out of people. And then when they took them down, they got a call from the higher ups in CNN that put it back up because fear sells. I mean, this is like the old National Enquirer. How do we get this bad? It's like journalism in Britain. 2/3 of the newspapers are just National Enquirer nonsense. We've always had that here to a certain extent, but not everywhere. On Friday, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor gave false information during oral arguments over the Biden administration's vaccine mandates. Well, let's get corrected these falsehoods over the weekend. Now, she was asked directly, I forget what news agency, is she going to send a memo or a note to Justice Sotomayor saying, I'm sorry, Madam Justice, the numbers aren't even close. You're saying 30 times more than actual reality. And she basically blew it off and eventually said, well, it's not up to me to notify the Supreme Court Justice. Oh, okay. Really? She won't say that the Supreme Court Justice was way wrong. I mean, there's wrong by 10%, and then there's wrong by 30 times. Yeah, I think it would have made a phone call to one of her legal aides, one of her interns, one of her law students, or whatever they call them, their law interns. Yeah. The numbers Sotomayor said, look at the hospitalization rate that are going on. We have more affected people in the country today than we had a year ago in January. We have hospitals that are almost at full capacity with people severely ill on ventilators. Now, here's the thing. My mother's been in the hospital recently. And the last time she was in about 2 months ago, I got a little chatty with the nurse there, a male nurse, and we had a candid conversation. And I asked him, I says, God, you guys heard you guys are overrun? He goes, oh, no. We got a ton of empty rooms. I go, what do you mean? Because of the vaccine mandate, a lot of people have quit. And now you're working 12, 13, 14-hour shifts. But we can't put people in the empty rooms because we don't have enough staff. We don't have enough staff to take care of the patients that come in the empty rooms. So we're technically at capacity legally, but not physically. And that's what they do. Full capacity. The hospitals are overflowing. Technically, that's true. But they caused a lot of the hospitals to cut how many they can take by a third in a lot of cases, sometimes half. So they're overflowed. She said we have over 100,000 children, Sotomayor went on, which we've never had before, serious conditions on many ventilators. That's a lie. An absolute lie. You have a better chance of winning the lottery, the Mega Millions, if you're a child without a health issue to begin with, than you do being on a ventilator. It's absurd. So saying it's a workplace variant, this underscores the fact that without some workplace rules with respect to vaccines and encouraging vaccines, because this is not a vaccine mandate. Oh, God. Walensky spoke to Fox News' Brett Baer, who's very fair journalist, saying, in some hospitals that we talked to, up to 40% of the patients who are coming in with COVID are coming in not because they're sick with COVID, because they're coming in with something else in that COVID or the Omicron variant detected. Dr. Anthony Fauci, that piece of blank, Biden's top COVID doctor, made the same assertion as regards children. As headlines began to pop up that hospitals are filling up with COVID-positive kids, Fauci said in an interview on MSNBC, if a child goes into the hospital, they automatically get tested for COVID, and they get counted as a COVID hospitalized individual when, in fact, they may go in for a broken leg or appendicitis or something like that. So it's overcounting the number of children who are, quote, hospitalized with COVID as opposed to because of COVID. Walensky said the official numbers sorted between those who died with and those who died from COVID would be forthcoming. Yeah, I'll bet. I'll bet. Well, do you know why they're starting to tell the truth now? Let's see. What's coming up this November? What's coming up this November? We ratcheted up the fear level in 2020 because we had to get the mad dictator Donald Trump out. Oh, okay. You got your wish. How does that go? And the gods want to punish us to answer our prayers? All right, you got rid of him. And now we have Mr. Magoo in the Oval Office. All right, fine. You got what you wanted. Now they got to crank down the fear. Now the truth comes slipping out. And we can carry on now because we're in trouble this November. These guys suck so bad. It's so bad. Who the hell do you believe anymore? Who the hell do you believe? And these people make a lot of money. They have huge benefits from the federal government, i.e. the taxpayers, and will get huge pensions and platinum health insurance for the rest of their lives and their spouses' lives. What a racket. They can write a book. They can go all over the place talking on talking head shows and just have a wonderful life. Just lie their asses off and then turn around and say, well, all right, we'll just change the story now to fit our narrative because now we don't have to make people so afraid. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And unfortunately, the average American has a short attention span. A year or two from now, the fear will weigh down And the presidential elections will come up, and everything will be peachy and great. And look how wonderful we are. Vote for me. It's disgusting. Anyway, folks, amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. How do you find out the truth? That's a damn good question. And anybody has the answer, leave it in the comments. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.